Hello everyone, this is BCS Buster, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI. I want to start today's episode by showing you what happens if you take the sword as for Ragnarok instead of leaving it as an esper. So, let's turn it into a sword. I've loaded a save state here, so in my original game or in my normal playthrough, I'm going to keep it as an esper, but I'll show you this here. So, it creates a sword for us. I've also brought Terra into this party for the next part, so let's take a look at this sword here that we've got. So let's go find that. There it is. So it can be equipped by 4 different people. Ooh, and it can cast Flare upon striking an enemy. So that's not bad. Oh, that's not too bad. Strength's +7, speed +3, stamina. Look at all this. Attack power of 255. Plus it'll boost your evasion and magic evasion stat by +30. So not a bad little weapon there. I kind of like that. So that's not a bad weapon at all. One thing you need to know about the Ragnarok, though, is that it actually consumes MP when you use it, because you'll always get a critical hit with it, pretty much ensuring that you're going to deal straight 9's worth of damage. So that can be pretty nice, but it costs some of your MP. So just keep that in mind. If you use Osmos occasionally with one of your characters, you should be fine. However, that's not the true power of what you do with this weapon. The true power with what you do with this weapon comes if you bet it at the Colosseum. So let's go over and do that. We're going to go over here and do this. We're going to land here at the Colosseum. And now for this part, I want to get Terra all set up, ready to go here. Now, normally she'd equip the Ragnarok. I want to get her with the Enhancer and the Minerva Bustier for this next part. As far as relics go, we're going to give her, let's see, for this battle, we're going to give her the Reflect Ring. And where is it? Safety Bit, which prevents against instant death, because you need that for this next part here. So, okay, let's go to the Colosseum. And I would like to bet the Ragnarok. And for betting the Ragnarok, you get to go, we don't know what we get to fight for, but it is against Daedalus, who we fought earlier in the game back in Daryl's Tomb. But now we have to do it one-on-one with Terra, so let's do it. Alright. Oh, she did exactly what I wanted her to do, which was go into trance mode. Because that not only does that increase her defense, but it boosts her magic power and her attack power by 2 times. So that's really good. Unfortunately, you don't get to see when she's going to do something next, which I hope she'll do something soon. Come on, Terra. Don't waste time. Thank you. It's not bad. Obviously, I'd much rather have her cast magic. Okay. So Flare Star is a fire-based attack, but if you have the Minerva Bustier on, it does 0 damage. Uh-oh. Ugh. So that's the only danger with the Reflect Ring, is that sometimes... Okay, Terra, I really need you... Okay. So that's why you have the Memento Ring on, is to protect against Blaster, which basically protects against instant death. I was hoping Terra would be casting magic by now. That's kind of why I brought her along, but that's all right. So that's the only danger with the Reflect Ring. The reason I have the Reflect Ring on is for one of Daedalus's attacks. I suppose I could have given her a Flame Shield, but that's all right. All right. I don't think this will work. Oh, that did work. Nice. Okay, cool. I didn't realize he was susceptible to confused. That's cool. Blaster, by the way, is an instant death attack. And she just tried to cast Raise on herself. Oh, and he doesn't have enough MP to cast Blaster. Well, that's good. Now that'll unlock him out of his confused mode. Okay. So basically now we just keep going through this until we win the battle. So he's basically... I don't really need to keep protecting him, Terra. So basically now we just go through this until we win the battle. So I'll basically just auto the rest of this until we defeat Daedalus. Or well, I'll skip past this until we've defeated Daedalus. There we go! Got him! Sorry, I turbo mode past that part because it was just taking too long. But for defeating him, we get the Lightbringer. Easily the best weapon in the game. Let's take a look at it. Sword and get into our menu. The Legendary Sword of the Heavens randomly casts Holy. It can only be equipped by the same 4 people, but Ho, 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 ho. Yeah, so I get plus 7 to all those stats, 255 attack power, plus 52 evasion and magic evasion. And it also takes MP to guarantee a critical hit, pretty much ensuring that you're going to hit straight 9s every time. So, a very powerful weapon for sure. However, I still really think that the Esper is better because of what it can do. Mostly because of the ability to cast Ultima. Plus, you can actually get some items with it, and I'll go over that in a little bit. Anyways, I just wanted to show you that. So what I'm going to do now is meet you outside of the tower there, with the party that, or with of Kefka's tower, which I finished the last time, with the party that I want, so that we can start going over the next part of the game. Okay, I've made it outside the tower here, and this is my party for the next part. We have Terra, Celeste, Realm, and Edgar. My top 3 magic users and Edgar. So essentially, this is Edgar's dream party, is that he gets to be alone with the 3 girls of the game. So, I wish the game would do something where you could, like, get a special scene with him in a battle or something like that, where Edgar goes, "Oh, I'm all alone with 3 girls, what do I do?" You know, I think that would just be hilarious. But anyways, okay. Now, the only problem with the setup right now is that Edgar is at a level that is a multiple of 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start to show you the process that I use for leveling up my characters. And I'm going to go over this all in great detail before I head to the final area of the game. So this is where I think the best place to do some level grinding is, but I want Edgar to do this by himself, because I don't want Realm to gain a level. So, let's get Edgar by himself. Okay, very good. And basically his setup right now is I've got just some equipment on him. It doesn't really matter. The only important equipment that you have right him is the Holy Lance. And then as far as his equipment goes, I wanted to use the Dragon Horn and the Dragon Boots. And this starts to turn Edgar into a beast. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a little bit. Let's get him working on an Esper. Oh, he has no Wisdom Death yet. Perfect. Okay. So in my opinion, the best place to start level grinding in the game, when your characters are at around mid-level, really anytime in the World of Ruin, the best place to start grinding is here in this desert. Because there are 2 enemies that you can face here that will help you build up your character stats. And then we'll go over to the best place in the game. Now, this is one of the enemies that you face here, the Slagworm. Now that we have the Dragon Horn and the Dragon Boots, what happens at this point is that jump, you'll see this here, becomes continuous. And Edgar goes back in the air. And so now he can go in the air multiple times. I believe it's up to 4 times, and that's kind of random there, for some extra damage. So that's pretty cool. Now you gotta watch out for Sandstorm here. Plus you may get an additional attack with Holy there, so that's pretty nice. So anyways, I want to show you that. To defeat the Slagworms, I would use the Air Anchor. There we go. Now he'll make an attack, and he's dead. There you are, and Edgar gained a level, and he learned Death. Very good. Now, the reason I like this area is you can earn 10,000 gil per battle, and you also get that with the other enemy that you face here, and I'll go over all that in just a little bit. So now, none of my characters that I want are at a level of 5. So what I'm going to do now is get my party all set up. I'm going to rest up at the inn in Thamasa. Miranda, and then we will start doing the next part of the game. Okay. All my characters are healed up. I've got my other characters back in the party, and we are ready for the next part. So, let's go over our setup for what we're going to do next. No surprises here. We got anyone on their main equipment there. I've got Edgar with the Holy Lance, and he's in Dragoon's, what I call the Dragoon setup. Now, everybody has Reflect Rings and Earrings, except for Terra, who's got the Soul of Thamasa, and Edgar, who's in Dragon setup, so that's fine. Now, the next thing is I just put Espers on everybody so they can start learning more abilities. It doesn't really matter. So now what I want to do, and this is kind of boring, but we need to happen, is I need to start flying around the world and looking for a particular enemy. Because there's actually an enemy that we can run into somewhere on the world map. Now, the way this works is that there are, like, I want to say 4,096 tiles on the world map. And this enemy takes up 2 of them. And I'm surprised that I have not run into this enemy yet. And if I would have run into him in my travels, then I would have discussed him and the strategy for defeating him and all that good stuff. But I haven't done that yet. So I just need to start flying around until I find him. And basically, I need to defeat him in a very, very short amount of time. So that's part of the reason why I'm glad that I've waited this long for this to happen. Because, well, I'll go over the mechanics once I find him. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to keep flying around the world until I find him. I'll probably run into him in turbo mode because I don't like waiting around. So, again, just kind of get your airship in a little bit of a slanted pattern so you can just start scouring the world over and over and over again. And eventually you'll find him. So, I'll turbo mode until I find him and be right back. Ah, there he is. Now it's time for a boss battle against Death Gaze. Now, the goal is to defeat him as quickly as possible. He will always start out with level 5 death. So, let's use Fire Aga there. And he's weak to fire spells and holy spells. So, we need to just do as much damage as quickly as possible. Now, the reason that I've got Terra in trance mode and then she's got the Soul of Thamasa is so that she can... Nice shot, Realm. Is so that she can cast Fire Aga twice. Now, basically, the way that this works is that he's got 55,555 HP. After 2 full rounds of battle, he might potentially flee. And then he'll appear somewhere else on the world map. And then you have to chase him around again until you find him. Okay, go Edgar. Come on, get fully to work there. Okay, it didn't quite work, but that's fine. And then it's a pain in the, and it's a complete pain in the ass to find him. So that's why you want to have your strongest magic users. Got him! Woohoo! Woo! I defeated him real fast. And I'm very, very, very happy about that. But yeah, so if you don't defeat him, he'll run away, and then he'll appear on another place on the world map, and then you got to chase him down again. But we've defeated him. Whoa! And for defeating him, we get a piece of magicite from his maw, which is his mouth. And from defeating him, we get the Bahamut magicite, one of the coolest magicites in the game. And I just happened to run into him right there, so that's cool. It doesn't matter where you are vertically up and down when you run into him, just as long as you run into him in that certain section of the world map, and then you find him. But yeah, defeat him as quickly as you can. If he happens to run away, he doesn't regenerate his HP. So basically, you can just fly around the world over and over and over again until you defeat him. But it's a real pain in the butt. If you are playing the original version, the SNES version, I would certainly say that it is acceptable to use the Vanish Doom trick to defeat him. And if you don't know what that is, basically in the original version of the game, there's a bug in it, the SNES version of the game, there's a bug in it where if you cast Vanish on an opponent, it can be a boss, it doesn't matter. You can cast Doom on him, and you will instantly defeat him. So that's the easiest way to defeat earlier enemies. That's how you defeat Integer in the World of Balance, is just cast Death on him, because he starts out in the invisible status. So that's the easiest way to do that. So it's kind of a bug. They fixed that for the Game Boy Advance version, but then there's that. Also, a thing to know though, if you're in the SNES version and you use Vanish, but X-Zone, which is the Banish of this game, you won't get the Magicite. Death Gaze will die, but you don't get the Magicite, and that's kind of a bug also, so just keep that in mind. Let's take a look at the Bahamut Magicite. Hits all enemies with a nuclear blast, so Mega Flare. Most importantly, two most important things about that is now we can start to learn the Flare magic, but most importantly, our HP bonus goes up by 50%, and this is huge when we're going to start our level grinding process, and I will go over all that a little bit later. Okay, let me check my time, and we'll see what we're going to do next. Okay, I have just enough time to do one more thing today, and so we'll take care of that real quick, and then we'll call it an episode. It'll be a little bit of a shorter episode today. That's totally fine. And now we can fly free on the world map without having any encounters or anything like that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the Colosseum. I'm going to bet one more thing in order to get one more item. And I forgot to do this earlier, but that's all right. Now for this next part, we want Edgar. We're actually going to get him going with the red jacket and the thunder shield. Let's get him equipped with those things. If I have a thunder shield, don't I have a thunder shield? Should. Okay, let's get a flame shield there. And let's get Thunder Shield going on Edgar there. And now I'm strong enough that I can actually do this. So, would I like to fight in the Coliseum? Yes, and I've got him on his Dragoon setup because it doesn't really matter. And the next thing that I want to bet is I would like to bet my Gauntlet, which I found earlier in the game. You can't buy these. You can only find them and then bet them. If you bet it here, we can win a Thunder Shield against the Vector Chimera. Now, he has fire and lightning attacks, so that's why I basically nullified those with Edgar there. Oh, gravity, this might work nicely. Of course not. And he's got Blaze, but because I have Red Jacket, that does 0. So like I said, he has fire and lightning-based attacks. So between those two things, that'll absorb that. Haha! And that's basically the easiest way to defeat him. If you have Sabin in your party, that might work. He also has Aqua Breath, so just watch out for that. But I believe Wind Jacket takes care of some of that. Or Lightning, or the Thunder Shield takes care of that. There we go. Woohoo! The only danger with bringing Sabin is sometimes he'll use his mantra, which sacrifices himself. So just watch for that. Alright, and for defeating him, we win another Thunder Shield. So that's very good. Like I said, I forgot to do that earlier, but it's all good. Okay, well that's all we're going to do for this episode. But next time, we will be exploring an area that you might not necessarily see on the overworld. What treasures does that area contain? You'll have to wait till next time to find out. Till then, this is BCS Buster signing off. Don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, BCS Buster LP, check out my blog, check out my donations page, and as always, take care, y'all.